Good morning. So today we're going to talk about four things. So we are going to talk about four things. So I don't care what religion you're from. I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you are right now looking at this. But if you are a human being, this is for you, okay? So we're going to talk about four things. Four things meaning, I know I seem a little bit excited today because I've learned some things about myself last night that is driving all of this. I figured out my true purpose. So this is a really cool time. So we're going to talk about four things. One, we're going to talk about what enlightenment is. We're going to talk about what the Kundalini, Holy Spirit, divine energy, whatever you want to call it, prana energy, energy body, whatever you want to call that second one, call it whatever you want. It's the same stinking thing, okay? Third is transcendence. We're going to say what transcendence is, and we're going to talk about what ascension is, the fourth thing. So enlightenment, Kundalini, whatever you want to call that energy inside of you, and we're going to talk about transcendence and ascension, okay? So what is enlightenment? Enlightenment is the gaining of new knowledge, okay? So if you look at through your process, you have the different chakra system. They shifted. The chakra system is the structure in which all of this takes place. This is a good key point, just like you're in the first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. It's the same type of a thing that you can achieve in order to keep moving forward to the ascension, transcending life through the Kundalini and increasing your enlightenment of knowledge, okay? A really quick aspect, really fast of what all of that is very quickly, okay? So enlightenment, what is enlightenment? Okay, well, if you are looking only about survival and you're on your root chakra, fear, anger, survival, all those different things, and you move up to your sacral place, which is your enjoyment, pleasures, reproduction, and all that stuff, okay, well, you probably have more information about life than the other one. Okay, so therefore, you are more enlightened than some people that are there. That's it. That's all enlightenment is. It's the transcending of different belief systems into new knowledge to be able to understand life in a different way. New wisdom to be able to imply that, to teach it, to imply that into your life in order to transcend and to keep us to ascension. Okay, because ascension is is like the key ultimate goal out of this life. Okay, and we're going to get there. So wait a moment. So enlightenment. So let's say, for another example, you're right here. You feel you're in your heart center. You opened up your fourth chakra, right? Your fourth energy center. It gives you a different outlook on life. You feel connected to other people. You feel a different way of seeing things. Okay, so, but you're not quite to your throat yet. You don't really know how to speak yourself. You speak your truth. Or maybe you're not in your third eye yet because you don't really see through the illusion in that type of a way, okay? But you're here. So the people that are here have been here, and here. So the whole point of that is maybe the person that has gained this knowledge and opened up this wisdom has more information about life than right here. That's it. So this person may be more enlightened than this person. This person that's living here may be more enlightened than the solar plexus. Or that's it. Okay, there is not an enlightenment attainment. That's an illusion. That is not it. It's just the gaining of new knowledge past what you had. It's like taking a car. Okay, so you have a brick wall, and everyone's always heard of breaking through the wall. Okay, so you break through the wall with a car, boom, you end up on the other side. Okay, well, before you didn't know what was on the other side. Nobody did. You just hit a brick wall. But on the other side is new information, new knowledge. Since you're on the other side of that wall, now you're probably more enlightened than you were. That's it, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Now, moving on. So people have asked different teachers, whatever, what is Kundalini? Okay, Kundalini is the driving force through the enlightenment process, kind of like the power plant, kind of like the engine that makes it run to get you where you need to be to keep moving forward. It's the force that keeps moving you forward. I call it that divine will, that divine force, because it literally is the force of God, the light of God, because God is real. God is the force. God is the life force growing everything. It's what connects everything to everything. So it's the law of one. We are all a part of God. Every religion out there teaches different ways of what this is. They have all different terminologies, but it's all going to the same place. Don't get convoluted, because here on this plane, that's the whole point of transcending all of these different things. And the people that are holding this information, holding this knowledge, and making you pay for all this stuff is ridiculous, because all of this is a divine birthright that you have, and it's the whole point of why you're here. It's to gain knowledge through enlightenment, to the driving force, through the engine, and learning how that works, and transcending all other ways of living through that engine, forcing you into the direction it needs to force you, so you can keep moving forward past this life through into ascension, into what happens next. Okay, so hopefully that helped a little bit more. So the Kundalini, the driving force, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, it's the engine that starts it up, to keep moving you forward. Because if you have an awakening, a real true divine awakening, you are in your process, you know that if you fight what you're supposed to do, life gets hard, life gets difficult. That's where suffering begins, because you're not in the flow of where you're supposed to be running to. So if you fight the divine, well, it's going to win. Just like whenever a tree starts growing next to a cement road or whatever it is, and over time, that cement road that we built, that we think is going to hold up for a long time, will never be able to outlast those roots coming up and breaking through the cement. Nature will always win. Period. Nature will always beat technology, because the divine is more powerful than any other force. So that energy that's inside of you, that divine energy, that Kundalini, that chi, that Holy Spirit, that whatever you want to call it, is the engine in which it drives you in the direction it needs to, through enlightenment, to transcend other beliefs, to ascension. Okay, so that's what that is. And we can talk more about that into details, because a real master will be able to teach you each little component on how the Kundalini works, specifically for you as questions come up, and recognizing what's going on. Okay, so that's what enlightenment is. That is what Kundalini is, or Holy Spirit, or whatever divine energy that is flowing. And another thing is it's a physical thing. You will physically be able to feel it, okay? So it is, and science has proved this. So even on a very low level, on what we kind of see externally, science is proving these things. There's a radiation energy that lies dormant. I'm sure you probably hear it. That's coiled up, that kind of goes up through the different energy points. Okay, so that is a real physical force. Okay, it is a part of your evolution of humanity. Just like everything evolves, everything changes. That's the way nature is. If you go outside and you say, oh, nature doesn't change, okay, well, are you ignorant? Because you go out there and see things change all the time. You can't change it. You can't force nature in a certain way, because it will always win over time, because there is no time. Come on now. So enlightenment, that's the gaining of new knowledge through the process. The Kundalini, or the Holy Spirit, or whatever that is the engine, the driving force it's like the highway. It's a driving force that gets you where you need to be. Transcendence. What's transcendence? Transcendence is getting through the brick wall to the other side. Okay? Transcending other ways of knowledge through the enlightenment, through this enlightenment process of getting new information. It's transcending old ways of thinking. It's getting past where it's the way you think now. Oh, I gained new knowledge. Oh, I'm more enlightened than I was. That means I transcended the way I was. Okay? Very, very simple. That's all it is. That's all it is. Okay, so transcending, getting past the way you were. I was this way, I did believe this at one time, but now I believe something else. Okay, well that means you transcended that thing. That's it. So if you are in, let's say your throat chakra, your Vrishute or whatever you want to call it, your fifth chakra point, if you want to use that structure, that's cool. That's transcending this. You did believe this and you thought, oh, that's all I knew. Whenever you get here, oh, a whole other world opens up. Oh, well, you just transcended the old way of you understanding something. That's it, okay? So ascension, this is why I'm here. I said this is, everybody will learn their purpose all in their divine time. My purpose, I'm going to teach ascension. I just understood this. I've been going through this process since August of 2019. That was my actual divine physical awakening. Before that, my entire life has been my spiritual awakening. Understanding that there is more to this life than what you see on billboards, media, government, whatever you want to call it, okay? That's recognizing I don't know anything. Why don't I know anything? And starting asking questions. Who am I? What's my purpose? Those questions are an awakening process. You are not asleep. You know that there's something more. The moment you realize that there's something more, processes begin for you, okay? And you need to start working with that and start asking the questions. Because whenever that's your mind and body is ready now, that physical awakening will happen. You will wake up. And then whenever you wake up, you better start going through your process and find a teacher, because if you don't start to look for inside yourself, you better find it somewhere, because that engine will drive you in the direction, and it can be confusing because it's a very, very powerful force, just like all of nature is. All God, life force, that's all it. It all is stronger than us. It's all stronger than anything that we make, any belief that we want to choose. It's stronger than the ego. It's stronger than any other thing. And yeah, other species out there, they understand that too. And that's real too. That's a whole other conversation, okay? But we're only going to talk about 4 things, okay? So through this ascension, you will find your purpose. My purpose, I teach ascension. Like I said, I've been going through this since August of 2019 was my physical awakening. I had awakening all the way up to here. 2 days later, I hit all the way through my crown chakra, and it's been a consistent process all the way until now. Now we're in the end of June, that is my 10th month, and next month is my 11th, and then in August will be one full year of doing this. But now, teaching ascension. So what is ascension? Ascension is the ultimate goal whenever you go through your enlightenment process, gaining all the knowledge that you are supposed to gain through here, all the experience, all the understandings from all the lifetimes, and all the things that around you through governments and media and everything. It's all built around the ego to force you into a different direction in order to make a choice. It all has a purpose, okay? Just because it's a negative polarity versus a positive polarity, it's needed. That's the whole point of the process, okay? Understand that if you came in here in light and you had no other polarity, you wouldn't be able to learn. You wouldn't be able to understand the things that you're supposed to understand. You wouldn't be able to learn and experience different things, because you would have nothing else fighting you into confusing you going through the learning process. So both polarities you have to have. That's the whole system. That's why it's designed the way it is. So enjoy the system. If you see somebody that's kind of being a butthead, that kind of challenges you a little bit, they're there in order for you to learn more about you. Okay, why do you think that person's a butthead? Okay, well maybe you should reach down inside and feel why you feel they are a butthead. Okay, because if you didn't think they were a butthead, everything would be fine. Right? Oh, it's an internal thing. Oh, that makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, so ascension is whenever you gain all the knowledge, and we're talking about knowledge not just from this lifetime. You've been here for a long time, okay? You've been here for a long time, and that's one of the things that you need to understand first as a human being. Doesn't matter what color, what country, what belief system that you have, it doesn't matter. It's all there for you if you want to look at it, if you're able to look at it and get out of your own head and your own ego, okay? So Ascension is built in order to transcend all of this entire life, okay? But governments, they don't want you to know this. Media, they're trying to teach you a different way. But the whole point of them is to show the contrast into what you're supposed to be doing, so you have a choice, and they're there to teach you about you, because they're there to challenge your beliefs, to make a choice to keep moving forward. Okay? So everything that you see around you, all of the things that are making you mad, making you angry, whatever it is, confusing, frustrated, it's there to teach you more about you. So if you were actually smart and you knew what you were doing, you would utilize them as a tool to tear down the walls of yourself and to tear down the ego of yourself, in order for you to come through and you to keep pressing forward. The only reason why you have suffering is because you keep fighting the external things, fighting yourself to understand, oh, all these different things that I do not like in life, they're there to help me understand more about me, okay? That's all they're there for. So if somebody that really understands life, somebody that really understands the things that I'm teaching, the Ascension, all of these things, a master will go through life, through meditation, raising their frequencies, raising through the process through enlightenment, utilizing the engine, the driving force, transcending all of these different belief systems to ascension. And honestly, there is no timeline, okay? It can happen in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 5 years, 20 years, your entire life. It can happen for lifetimes. It doesn't matter how long. With this, there's no time limit. There have been children that have learned this because they have been going through the process for lifetimes, and who they are as a soul, they start to drive that. And there have been children that walk out of their bodies because there's nothing else to learn in this life. Once you're done learning and doing everything you're supposed to do here, that's it. You move on. And you can either be consciously walking straight out of your body, and whether you're really watching this and you believe that or not, it doesn't matter. It's happening, it's true, it's documented, and it's real, okay? So the whole point of this life is to learn as much as you possibly can through experience, raising yourself, understanding what life is, teaching you what life is, growing and experiencing, and finding out what your purpose is to keep moving forward, and getting that experience to transcend all ways of knowledge into ascension, okay? So really true ascension is up to you. Ascension is really, if you want it to take 20 years, okay, well that is your conscious choice to make it, either, or it may be your unconscious choice. But if you're watching this video, okay, you're a little bit conscious to get here in the first place, okay? So you're recognizing some things. So ascension is the ascend past and get through that wall all the way. And the wall meaning this world, this life, okay, into the next one. Because the next one, there will be more. Because everything is evolving, everything is changing, everything is getting better. Everything is, well, I say getting better because it is in this type of a direction. It is, that's a beautiful thing. But you need these other sides. You need that shadow side, because a true ascended being will have a balance of both, because you have to have both driving forces. The macro is with the micro is the macro, and above, so above, so below. It has a perfect, and you know it. It's black and white. You see it on movies. Movies are shouting it to you in your face constantly all the time. Oh, it's the good versus evil. Oh, you need them both in order to learn from each other to keep moving forward, to make a conscious choice, okay? Just like if you were skydiving, and if you were jumped out of a plane, and yet for a moment you wouldn't even know you're moving if there wasn't anything to contrast yourself and project your movements. If you didn't have any clouds that you were passing through, you wouldn't even know that you were in the sky. To an extent, you wouldn't, the breeze in your face, the clouds you're going through, if you had nothing else to realize that you were falling, there would just be a state of existence. That's it. So this is the same type of thing. You need the contrast to be able to teach you to keep moving forward. That's all. Everything in society is built up around you to tear down your ego in order to keep moving forward. Okay, so 4 things. We talked about enlightenment. We talked what enlightenment is. We talked about what the Kundalini, that driving force energy is. We talked about what transcendence is, and we talked about ascension. Ascension, we've been going through this for a long time. Now, society, civilization, the world, we got way past the focus, because at one time, society and civilizations, this was the focus. There was no real massive amounts of, ego. This was, there was ego here because, you still had to have the contrast, but the civilization's focus was the ascension. It was the whole point of why we're here. That's why you see different hieroglyphs and pyramids and temples and things. It all goes together. At one time, they were called the Ascension Keepers. And you know what? They're coming back because I'm going to be one of them. I'm going to teach Ascension on what the whole point of this thing is. Okay? So Ascension, getting through this life, learning the whole point of it's not dying, because death is an illusion too. You don't really die. Death may be death of the ego, death of the physical body, but if you ever seen, not outer body experience, but near-death experiencers, to where they all have the same type of thing, to where they were there, and then whoop, they just slipped out of their body. Just like in a breath. Whoop, they just slipped out of their body. And then all of a sudden, everything was blissful, everything was amazing, and holy smokes. They look back at their body, and they look, oh, I look kind of bad. Well, okay, because you're not dead. And even every religion teaches this. Okay, so in Christianity, which is the way I was raised in this life, and the way I was brought up is Christianity. Okay, so Christianity believes whenever this physical body dies, the soul goes on. It goes to heaven. Okay, that immediate thought teaches you, I am not the body. Or my physical body would go to heaven. Or hell, whatever you want to believe. Okay, so just that one little thought alone should yell and punch you in the face and say, hey, I'm not the body. Oh, if I'm not the body, then what am I? Oh, then that's pretty silly, isn't it? Okay, if I go to heaven, what goes to heaven? Oh, it's my spirit, it's my soul. Oh, then I guess who I am is my soul. Oh, well that makes sense now, doesn't it? It's because you don't understand. You're still probably asleep. You're still kind of lying dormant within your process. That's okay. Maybe you're watching this video, maybe it'll help out. Maybe you'll see something else. Maybe you need something else to wake up. But if somebody's telling you to wake up, don't get offended. That just means you don't understand yet. And if you're trying to teach people to wake up, don't get frustrated, because if somebody doesn't take the information, they don't understand yet either. They just are, that's where they are in their process. It's no big deal. It's okay. That's why some children have more knowledge than senior adults. Well, because children are coming into this life with no blinders on. They are open to everything. They understand more knowledge naturally through nature than you do. The ones that have been here, structuredized, government this, told this, survival this, all these different things, which is a bunch of BS that you need to learn from to keep getting past the ego, past your mind, transcending, waking up the engine, starting the engine, because if you're going through life and you haven't started the engine yet, well, you're probably still parked in the garage. Okay, well, let's start the engine, open up the garage, get past the driveway, transcend the old beliefs, and let's go to the grocery store. Let's hit the first point. Oh, maybe let's go on a vacation. Oh, where that's going to go. Oh, maybe let's go to places that I've never been to before. That's physical. Do it internal now, because that's what ascension is. All right, so I hope that was helpful. I'm a little fired up this morning because I figured out why I'm here. You need to figure out why you're here too. Let's figure out why we're all here. Let's all do it together. Human beings, if you're a human being, I don't care if you're Asian, black, white, Mexican, Egyptian, whatever nationality you are, if you are a human being, this is for you. No racism, no any of that BS crap. If you are a human being, this is why you're here. If you believe it, good. If you don't, you'll figure it out one day, because there is coming a time to where everybody will know the truth. And it will be so stuck straight flat in your face that you will not be able to deny it. And it's coming. And it's starting to be here right now. So I hope you're doing well. I hope that you keep doing well. If you have any questions, you let me know. If you want to check out my book, check it out. Do it for free, because none of this stuff is going to be charged for. The people that are charging for this stuff is a bunch of BS, because this is a divine birthright that you're supposed to understand. You're supposed to get this information for free. So guess what? We're going to teach this for free. If you want to do courses, we'll do courses. No charging for any of this stuff. We're going to throw this information out to everybody you possibly can. Go check out my book. It's a bunch of my journals that whenever I had my awakening, it was a bunch of my journals that I wrote a bunch of different things, organized it into like 30 pages, 35 pages, threw it into a book, threw it on Amazon, whatever. It's free. If you can't get it, I just sent to somebody a copy to Iran for free. Whatever. The whole point, it's not about selling the information. It's about the message that's inside whatever you want to find, okay? It's about the message inside. So enjoy. Look around you, see how everything around you can help you, because it's there to teach you. Allow it to teach you. Namaste, Namasivaya, Vaya Namasi.